Hi everyone. This is Olivia Sise here, and oh my god, have I missed you guys so much? I'm not going to lie. I have missed recording so much. I swear. Things are usually fun until you make a goal of it. Normally, I could read a book and talk and read and talk about it. But then when I set a goal for myself and say, oh, I'm going to read or review every book that I read, or I'm going to do this to every book that I read, Lord, it becomes hard. So is the lesson to not set goals? I'm not sure that's the lesson. I'm 100% sure that is not the lesson. But yes, I'm going to try my best to keep my promise to myself, one, and also to keep my promise to you guys, because honestly, to everyone that has subscribed to my podcast on Spotify or other streaming networks on YouTube, I am so grateful. I am so glad, and oh my goodness, you guys, it's amazing. Thank you all so much for supporting me. I know that this is just my days of its beginnings. Very soon my podcast will be known all over the world. Yes, I said it here first. I prophesied it here first. So today, let's get straight into the book we're reviewing. Right, we're talking about One for Sorrow, Two for Joy by Maria Claire Amuah. One for sorrow, two for joy. So I saw this book on one of the newsletters I follow recommended it. Book of Sins. Yeah, I always talk about her here on the podcast because I follow her newsletter and I get really great book recommendations from her. Like really get great book recommendations. I was like, oh my god, this is why you don't traumatize people, because oftentimes traumatized people traumatize people. You know how they say hurt people. Yeah, so traumatized people traumatize people. So this book, One for Sorrow, Two for Joy, is about our character Stella and her family. She's Ghanaian. She's British Ghanaian, and she grew up in an abusive home. Her dad was abusive, yes, and not just to her but to her sister. And we see how that affects her life, how that affects her growing up. It affects her, the way that she interacts with people, her dating life. We see that. We see it. And this is the thing. I'm African, right? And in Africa, when you beat a child, a lot of people don't see it as physical abuse. It's seen as discipline. It's seen as discipline. But I think that a lot of people in Africa are walking traumatized. They're walking broken, and they don't even know they're broken. If you ask them, they'll say, oh, my dad beats me, but I grew up fine. Did you really grow up fine though? Did you really grow up fine? And they'll be like, oh, gentle parenting is for white people. I mean, what do you mean you're not gonna be your child? There's a difference between disciplining your child, maybe spanking here and there, and full on like physically abusing that person. There's the margin is so wide, it's so big, and honestly, as Africans, we need to explore other ways to discipline. We have to, because your children are not going to tell you how it traumatized them. They won't tell you, and they say, the children they grow up to, it's because they're in America. Nigerian children are not traumatized, they grow up from it. Now it's not trauma, it's just discipline. We're so broken as a continent that we don't even see how broken we are. I mean, look at the state of the nations of Africa. That should tell you how broken we are. Anyway, so let's get into the character Stella. Stella is a beautiful young girl who grows up in an abusive state. Her dad, for reason not known, he keeps on saying, oh, she's so insolent. She's so insolent. Every little thing she does, he considers it disrespectful, and he wants to discipline her for being disrespectful. And it makes me, while I was reading this book, I was like, oh my God, she's a child. Children are going to ask the most crazy questions because they have no filter. There are the points in their life where, they're not really thinking how this question is going to affect you, or how to read social cues, or, they're not thinking of that. They're thinking, I'm curious about something and I need answers because I want to know how the world works. So her dad, who is an MC, he hosts events. Outside he seems so cheerful. He makes people laugh. But then when they're at home, the only person laughing is Solomon, which is her brother. And we see the way he treats the women in his family as opposed to how he treats the men, which is his son. We see how he treats Stella's mom, Nurse Florence. We see how he treats her and Stella as opposed to how he treats Solomon. So let's now come to the themes in this book, because it is from discussing the themes that we're going to be able to, really shed light in these things that we see. For example, the theme of domestic violence, right? We see in the book that this man pushed his wife down the stairs while she was pregnant for the third baby. And that baby had to, it was a miscarriage. And then we see that even while she was pregnant with Stella, he used to beat her up. He used to beat up his wife while she was pregnant. He used to abuse her. And the mother told Stella, because one thing about a lot of mothers, when they want to open up, they really do open up. The ones that will hide. Eventually, when that child grows up, the child will see, even without you telling them that, oh, your dad used to beat me. They will see when they are grown that, daddy is always beating mommy. Dad is always beating me. So we see domestic violence on the wife. Then we see domestic violence on the child. Not just domestic violence now, we see child abuse. He beats Stella at any instant, hits her, throw her against the wall, against wardrobes. Like, oh my goodness. I was reading this and I was like, you're a full-grown man. Why do you think it's okay to put your whole weight into beating a child like this? Why do you think it's okay? Do you think that this is normal? No, this is not normal. This is not discipline. This is crazy. So he would beat Stella up. But you know the funny thing? And this is, we see a stark difference in how he treats Stella and how he treats the brother Solomon. For Solomon, their father is a hero. Their father is a king. He's always happy with his dad. Oh my goodness, his dad is his hero. But in Stella's eye, her dad is not a hero. Her dad is a terror. And this is how two siblings who grew up in a household can experience their parents differently. For some people who say, oh, the way our parents used to beat us when we were children, they don't beat our younger ones like that anymore. They've grown soft. The way they act now, they are so nice. But this one, growing up together, you can see how a man treats his son way better than he treats his daughter. As parents, in fact, I think that before we become parents, everybody needs to ask himself, am I ready to become a parent? Because I'm telling you that when a child comes into this world, they are blank. You imprint experiences, emotions on them. When Stella came into this world, she was a healthy, beautiful baby. Her dad gave her anxiety, he gave her depression, he made her insecure. Her dad was the reason, her childhood was the reason she had all these problems. Her childhood was the reason she grew up superstitious. When she was little, she had to always touch wood. But she'll say, oh, if I touch wood, nothing bad will happen. Daddy will not be angry. He will not beat me. He will not beat mommy. And then she grew up from touching wood to looking for clues. She'll say, oh, a raven rather. She'll say, okay, if I see a raven, magpies, yes, the birds. That's where we get the title from the title for sorrow to for joy is a superstition about magpies. So she said, if I see one magpie, that means something terrible is going to happen. But if I see two magpies, oh, that means something good will happen. It's a good omen. She clung to that superstition because when at home, you will not feel get peace. And the funny thing is, in the book, the dad used to say, I cannot have peace in my own home. Meanwhile, he's the terror. An insecure, broken man. He grew up traumatized also. This is what I'm saying. We think we're not traumatized. We think we're okay. Oh, my parents used to beat me. I turned up fine. Oh, I was raped as a child. I turned up fine. Did you really turn up fine? Because your lack of empathy is a clear indicator that you did not turn up fine. The fact that you think it is okay is a clear indicator that you are not fine. Somewhere you are broken. You need to be fixed. Because when you see somebody so brutalized, you would feel chills. You'll be afraid. And then my favorite theme in this book is the theme of friendship. Oh, lovely. Stella's friends. We have Kemi. We have Emma. We have Farah. Stella's friends, group of 4 friends, were amazing. Her friends were just what she needed. Those friends. They grew up with her right from secondary school. They grew up with her. Uni days, they were there for her when she was, assaulted. Because to me, what happened there was sexual harassment and assault. They were there with her in college when she decided, oh, I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to pursue this in New York. They were there with her. Her friends. This book celebrates female friendship and how it can heal. How sometimes, blood, water is thicker. Yes, water is thicker because those friends came through for her way more than any of her family members. Way more than Solomon even. Solomon grew up in a bubble that he did not know what was. He knew what was happening to his sister, but he would always turn the other way. He did not want to face the truth. He did not want to acknowledge the fact that his father was terrorizing the home. He did not want to acknowledge that fact. So he would always go, when are you going to see that? What is wrong with you, Solomon? Did you not see how your dad traumatized this girl? So, honestly, and I'm someone who can relate, like, people can experience their fathers in a different way. So one child, the father is a hero. So another child, he was a bastard. He was a cause of their terror. So a man can be, they say a man can be a good parent, but a terrible husband. Here, he chose to be terrible. Yes, it's a choice because he chose to be good to Solomon. He chose to be kind to Solomon. He chose to be a good father to Solomon. But for Stella, he chose to be a terror. He chose to unleash horror on her. It was a choice. Yes, it was a choice. Because if you are a terrible person, you'll be terrible to all, is it not? But if you are terrible to one and you that means you choose to. Yes, you choose to. And that's how I know that everybody makes a choice. Instead of slapping your child, how about you correct them, ground them? Say, okay, no more computer for what you have done. Until you learn to speak correctly to your elders, until you learn from your mistake. That is a better way to approach things than to always hit your child. Every minute you want to pass. Why? You're leaving your child traumatized. And Stella had to go through that anxiety. She was anxious all through her adulthood. And then we see that the first relationship that Stella actually cultivates with a man, Christian, we see that was abusive. That relationship was abusive. And she went back. When I was reading that book and Stella went back to Christian, oh my God, I said, Stella, once they start, they never stop. If a man hits you or mistreats you, it never stops. Take it from me. Whatever you accept, because when they come back changed. They come back like, oh my goodness, I've changed. I'm a better person now. It was a mistake. What happened? They will even be telling you what they did was wrong. Although some of them will not tell you what they did was wrong. Like my ex, someone is a mad fellow. Maybe one day I'm going to dedicate a whole podcast to why you should avoid men who listen to toxic podcasts. Case in study, my ex. Case in study, my ex. He is a proper goat. And I'm so glad that I love myself so much. Yes, because anytime you make the right choice, you're telling yourself that you love yourself. You're acknowledging to yourself that you love yourself. You're grounding the fact that you love yourself. And from then henceforth, you keep on making decisions that show that you love yourself. So when he came begging at 12 a.m., I refused to let him in. I said, no, go back. And then he switched, he started threatening me. You see, they always show their true colors. 1 minute they are begging, the next minute they are saying, go to hell, you stupid bitch. Why are you here for a stupid bitch? Why are you here for a stupid bitch? Why are you here for a stupid bitch? So this should tell you, always make decisions. And I'm glad that, the relationship started so golden. And I was so happy for Stella. I was like, oh yes, Stella, this is it. Oh yes, my baby girl has found love. He turned into someone that we did not recognize. First of all, I knew he was a red flag. The fact that he did not have a job, he was not making any move to get a job. I was like, oh, I'm taking my time. And for how many years you're taking your time with it? Or get something doing. He was just playing game. And when he's playing game, he'll say she should not disturb him. Their relationship, there were lots of red flags, But he nurtured her, he took care of her. So I was like, you know what? People have bad character. So we cannot throw away the child with the water. Sometimes throw away the child and the dirty water. I'm telling you, when it comes to these abusive men, you have to throw them away with the dirty water. They are not children. They are not children. They cannot be mended. If they're going to be mended, it will not be you. You are not a rehabilitation center. Let him go and fix himself. And when he's done fixing himself, he can then come back. But if you think, and that's the mistake a lot of women make, we think that we're the ones who cause change. Oh my God, I can make him change. Oh my God, I can effect change. I can change this man. No, let the man go change himself. And then when he's worthy of you, he will come back. If he doesn't come back, hooray, you move on to someone who is worthy of you. Someone who deserves you. Someone who treats you good. And I think at that moment, Stella understood her mother. Her mother was just a girl. It took her mother years of abuse to eventually decide, I'm going to leave this man. And when she left, when eventually she divorced him, it was already too late because he had already traumatized her and her kids. The damage had already been done. So when Christian pushed Stella and she went back, oh, I said, my God, Stella, now you understand what your mother saw, why your mother stayed. But eventually, she gathered the strength that she needed, because it takes strength to leave. That's what a lot of people don't tell you. Leave. It takes strength. But leaving, you will be so glad you left. Trust me, you will be so glad you left. I'm really happy with how the book ended, because I think a lot of people would wanted Christian to be the one to heal her, for her to find her healing with Christian. But no, you don't get broken by one man and get fixed by another man. No, you would find the strength to fix yourself from within. The strength to fix yourself, the strength to heal. It is not an external force. It is from within. You already have it in you. So, my father was a horrible man. Oh, my husband is so amazing. That's not what is going to heal you. You have to gather the strength to heal yourself from within. And when you're healed, you can then move on. You can then tell yourself, I'm worthy of love. If a man mistreats you, you see the red flag for what it is. You don't see it as a rainbow. No, it's a red flag. And you tell yourself, no, I'm worthy. You correct yourself. He will not traumatize you because he knows that, oh, this one, you think men don't know? They know women that have self-respect. They know women that love themselves. And they don't treat you like that. So I'm so glad that this book ended on the note of Stella going for therapy, finding ways to heal herself, and just her friends protecting her with love. A lot of us think that it is romantic relationship that will heal us. No, it is friendship most times. It's not wrong. I don't even advise, if you have not been properly healed, do not go and jump into a relationship. You will jump out. You will jump out. That's what a lot of people do. One relationship traumatizes them, they jump into another immediately. They've not healed. So you're just walking broken, shattered. Before you know, you are tattered. So I love that Stella needed to heal before looking for love. Because the first point of love for her, especially with men, which is from Ada, she did not have that. That link was broken. She needed to heal. And I'm glad that she's there going for therapy. Her friends surrounded her. They rallied around her. Oh, I wish I could have such beautiful female friendship. I wish I could. Friendship like that is so beautiful. I wish I could have that. So there's one thing to take away from this book, is the beauty of female friendship, the beauty of sisterhood. You know, when Solomon wanted to get married, and he eventually came to Stella and he confessed. He was a coward. He knew what their dad was doing, that their dad was abusing Stella and the mom, but he was always looking the other way. And he was telling himself, saying, I'm afraid, because what if I become like my father? That is a good point. That's a good starting point. And I'm sure that as long as someone has this at the back of his mind, he'll make the right decision and he'll be a good father. So sometimes when you think you're healed, moving on is not healing. It's something that this book taught me. Moving on is not healing. Oh, I've moved on from it. Oh, it was in the past. But are you really healed? Are you really healed? Are you? A lot of us like to move on. Oh, he cheated on me, I moved on. Oh, he cheated on me, I moved on. Oh, he beat me, I moved on. Are you healed? Moving on is not healing. Have you really healed? Yes, you really healed. So thank you all so much for listening to me. Oh my goodness. I really love this book. I do. I love it. And You should read this book. It is interesting. It is lovely. You would love it. You would love it. And do not forget, if you have any questions, let me know. If you have feedback for me on my podcast, let me know. If there is a book you want me to review, I'm available on all social media platforms. I'm on Instagram, I'm on X, Twitter, I'm on Facebook. You can find me. So if there is any book you want me to review, slide in my DM, let me know about it. Thank you all so much for listening to my podcast. I really appreciate it. I love talking to you all. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Click the like button. Share my podcast with your friends. Let them know BCC does the best book reviews. Yes, let them know. Thank you all so much for listening to me. Until next time, love you all. Bye.